Are you a business owner getting to the stage where you're starting to think about what's next? Have you ever wondered, how do I step back or even exit my business and do it on my terms? Hello, I'm Darryl Bates-Brownsword, and Succession Plus is here to answer those exact questions. As a bit of background, did you know that only 40% of businesses that go to market actually end up being sold? So we work with business owners so they can get the most from their life's work, and by implementing the things that most businesses have missing and end up eroding value. So in this session, I'm going to share with you the things that you will need to do in your business to make it attractive to buyers. So what we know is that the principles that increase value in any business, in every business, are the same across all industries. The principles, what buyers are looking for is they want some reassurance that the investment, the money they're spending on your business, will be money well spent, and that they're basing it on future revenues and your revenue forecasts as a starting point. So they want to know what assurances they have that those forecasts are likely to be achieved, is one thing. They're looking at track record, they're looking at history, they're looking at all of the resources, all of the skills, all of the capabilities in your business. And crucially, critically, they're looking at how dependent the business is on you. How much does the business rely on you being there as a business owner day by day, making decisions, making sure that the cogs keep turning. So they're the crucial things. And what we want to know is, let's put together the framework of how we need to put those changes in place to gradually make the business less dependent on you so that you can leave on your terms. And we've all heard of the stories about working on our business and that we need to systemize our business. But what does that actually mean? Well, let's get started and put some things into place. So what we've got is, this is our 3-7-5 framework. And we start with the 3. And the 3 refers to the 3 exit options available to you. And even before we choose on the exit options, we need to decide if we're going to go through a succession strategy first, or are we just going to go straight to exit? And succession is when I back off, or when you back off, or you wind down from your business and you back out of being in an operational role where the business requires you to be there every single day to make those decisions. And you move more into a strategic role or a board-only role. Exit is when you leave the business altogether. You have no involvement in the equity side of things. The next part is the 7. The 7 refers to the 7 value-building levers. These are the strategies that really crank up the valuation in your business. They move beyond balance sheet thinking. And balance sheet it recognizes that the real value in your business lies in your intangible assets. And we want to move beyond that goodwill thinking and having this valuation of, well, we've got this goodwill number, to being able to decide and prescribe and get really clear around what lies in our goodwill and why our goodwill number, our multiplier value, is worth so much more. And once I've moved through my 7 value building levers, the thing that's really critical is putting all these things in place. It's great knowing what I'm going to do, and then the next thing is knowing how to do it and making sure that I get these things done and make sure I get them done quickly and efficiently to really get that kicker and valuation I'm looking for. So this is the tool we use to explore and understand what exit options are available to us. So the first half of that graph we've called the growth phase, and our businesses grow in steps, and we grow through growing pains, and then we have growth spurts, and we have more growing pains and growth spurts, and that becomes a cyclic activity through our whole growth phase. And what we find is that there's a couple of areas that are high stress on the business owners when we're running our business, and that's at startup, and at that point where I decide to do that exit and let go of my baby, essentially. Let my baby move on into the next part of its life. So during this growth phase of the business, I'm going through succession planning, and hopefully I'm training up, I'm developing the people that are working with me, and I'm stepping back and I'm helping them to grow. And that way I'm creating a future for them and for the business, and that's a big key in helping increase the valuation. And when it comes to the exit strategy, there's the exits tend to fall into three main areas. The first one is the light blue one. And the light blue one is where I go, you know what? I've taken this business as far as I want to. I'm happy. I'm really delighted in what I've achieved and what I've invested so far. And I'm now ready to move on. So I'm happy to hand the reins over to the next generation, the next owners, the next managers, whoever that is, the next family members. And I'm happy to gradually step down and step back. I'll be there, I'll mentor them, I'll support them, but I'm taking a back seat and you guys can take the business forward. The next one is what we call the fadeaway. Now, the fadeaway is that red line, and it often refers to a business or it becoming obsolete in the industry. It's when the business is totally revolving around one person potentially or the owners, and it just becomes obsolete and they gradually, or it even gradually winds down as they die back. And it's a business that is really self-employed and they really haven't built any assets around them. We don't want you to fade away. Now, the third one is that dark blue line. Now, the dark blue line is a step up, and that's when the owners say to us, hey, we've got one last hurrah in us. We want to grow, we want to get all in, we want to crank up the value, and we want to grow it and have a big step up in valuation, and then we'll all leave. We'll do some sort of exit. And so they're the three exits that we can have, the three styles of exit. And it's really important to know which of those styles is more attractive to us, which is the route we want to go down, because it influences everything else that we're going to do with designing our exit strategy and getting the timeframes right. Because what we know and what you need to be aware of really early in the phase is that it really takes 1 to 3 years to get everything right, especially if you're looking to maximize value in your business before you exit. So once you've made those decisions, then you can move on to the seven value building levers. And what I'm going to focus on is how do I apply those 7 value building levers? And we've got 3 levers that are in what focus on profit builders. And then I've got 4 levers that really crank up and multiply the value. So here's a little image here that we've put together that just sort of shows what happens in reality and to set the expectations for business owners. Now, that green circle is the current valuation now, the business value that you've got today. And most business owners, they'll have a value in mind that they feel the business owes them, or they feel they've got an exit value that they want to get for when they move down. And that's represented by that purple mark on the chart, the model we've got there. Now, that purple valuation is often aspirational, and it's not always related to what assets actually lie in the business. So we've got to get some education, if you like, some appreciation of what value the business really is now. So what is the actual number for that green position on the chart? And that light blue line represents what will happen, how the business will grow over time if things keep going the same. If we don't do anything special to the business, if the business keeps going as it did, the business valuation will keep growing at a level, at a rate, and that'll be linked to profit. I'll increase the profit and the value grows. Now, there's a whole lot of things I can do, and there's a lot of finance people out there working on these side of things that will tidy up the profit of my business. And some of it's stripping out unnecessary costs, some of it's tidying up my accounts and all of my financials. And they're basic, simple tasks that are really related to good housekeeping and really need to be done. But it's tidying up the profit and showing a track record of higher profits. And you can, when you start intervening and working on those areas, the valuation of the business will move from that light blue line to the red line. And you can see how it increases. But it's usually not enough to get the business valuation to where the owners really want it. And so what we need to do is, and here's where time becomes critical, because this takes 18 months or so at least to really get these valuations flowing through. So if your purple mark is above the red line, then you really need to allow at least 18 months to put the strategies in place to get the valuation you're looking for. Otherwise, you're going to be disappointed. It may take a bit more risk, but it's definitely going to take a bit more time and planning to get these things in place, because these things are more strategic and they take time to come through. So just setting your expectations. We're talking about brand, serious branding in the marketplace, getting some IP in place, some being aware in the marketplace for standard processes and systemizing, and a marketing machine, genuine, repeatable marketing that's reliable and consistent. Then once we've got those in place, what we need to look for is actually implementing all of these initiatives. As I said, it takes 18 months to 3 years if you really want to get the most out of your valuation, or a bit, 12 months if you're looking to just tidy up the profits and get all of your financials and your histories in order, just to make sure that you'll get through a due diligence process swiftly and cleanly. So what we've got is the 5 stages of implementation. And these are the things that we'll be working with you through, or you can do on your own terms if you like. But if you really want to get there quickly, you need a guide, a Sherpa if you like. And these are the things you need to work on. So the first thing you need to do is get really clear on what your current valuation is. Once you've got your current valuation, then there's a few more things, there's a few more steps you need to do to protect your existing value. And this is protect the business from unplanned events and protect the shareholders should something happen. So it just makes the business a bit more stable and a bit more protected and reduces the risk for potential buyers as well as the existing owners. Once you've got the existing risk and valuation protected, then you want to go in and do all the things we need to do to crank up and leverage the valuation. And these are all the things through systemizing and growing and your strategic planning that we were talking about earlier, and building the brand value and the marketing machine. Then you're ready to extract the value. Once you're ready, you've got everything in place, you can go through a due diligence process cleanly and you'll be able to extract the value from your business. And then for some of those business owners who have really built a considerate business, a significant business, they'll end up with a whole lot of wealth in their bank account, a whole lot of cash in their bank account that they've never seen before. And then we need to move on to managing the value, because how do I manage that value for ongoing generations? And that's when we need to do some estate planning and get some legal advice in to protect your value and manage that value for the next generations. So there you have it. There's a whistle-stop tour, a snapshot, if you like, of all of the things that you need to do if you want to start thinking about getting your business ready for exit so that you can exit on your terms and maximize value. The message I really want to bring home is that it takes time if you want to go through this. So many business owners I speak to end up having a bit of a shock when they realize what their business is really worth to a buyer today, and then what it will take to increase the valuation to get up to what their expectations or what they were hoping for. You really want to allow your 1 to 3 years to maximize this value so that you get your business in a position so that you will end up as one of those 40% who do sell rather than those who don't. So thanks for spending time with me today. I'm Darryl, and if you want to follow up or find out more or get a whole lot more detail around what I've shared with you today, here's my details on the screen, and I'm sure the guys will be happy to put you in touch with me. Thanks.